Yeah, I'm Dale Hansen. I'm Principal of Corindi Education Glendyne. I've been there for about 15 and a half years now, not always as the principal. I started there as a teacher. In fact, I was invited to join the school because I did have a passion for working with young people who were very disadvantaged, and I really enjoy working with them because there's always really positive outcomes at the end of the day, and you know, the forming of those long-term relationships with students, seeing them in the community in the future beyond school, and seeing them working and succeeding is always something that I think is very positive about the work that I do. And even though that work has changed over the years from teaching to leadership, I still know I'm a part of a team that helps that happen. We became a part of ACS when it was first formed. In fact, we were part of ACS before it was ACS, Christian Schools. And so I've enjoyed that long-term relationship with ACS. I believe ACS is a very important part of education in general. You know, 2021 now, and we're seeing the Commission release figures of mental health issues in education and suicide, and some of those really tragic things that are happening, and the cost of that, you know, around $220 billion a year. It's important that I think that ACS be a part of the solution to that, and I think very much strategically in their pillars of strength that they do provide that opportunity to do that through collaboration, through the networking, and of course the benefit of that goes to all the students in the member schools. So the Outcome Star program is really a strengths-based program. It was introduced into the school in 2014 by Corindi. Corindi wanted to have some sort of tool to measure the progress of all of the people that they serve in the community, from education to aged care. So the Outcome Star gives us an opportunity to have those conversations, to develop the relationships, to look at what's going on in the student's life in a collaborative way, and working together to plan actions and goals to take them from being stuck in the moment to being able to manage things well, such as their well-being, such as their choices and behaviour, such as their relationships, such as where they live and who they live with. If a child is educated in that way as part of their schooling, it provides an opportunity, which I believe is really important in today's young people, to develop their resilience, so that when they get to a point where they leave the support of the school, they have knowledge and capability to continue to develop those skills, but also when life changes, and it always does for all of us, they can face those changes and those challenges feeling a lot more confident and not give up. Because the last thing we want any of our young people to do is be a part of that statistic of mental health issues or suicide. So the Outcome Star is a very structured program that involves the young person, so it empowers them to make change rather than us just speaking into their life. It's done in a collaborative way where at the early points of their journey, they're working very closely with the staff and making decisions themselves about what is important to them to work on to become the better person. It's also good for our staff because in those conversations, relationships are developed, trust is developed, and understanding. So the ability to listen to where the child's at, so that the education, which is also a part of the school, can be responded to more effectively. So teachers can look at what they're doing and say, well, what is it the child really needs in literacy? Do they need to develop their skills around listening? Do they need to develop their skills around communication? So if a child is saying, well, part of my wellbeing issue is I'm still struggling with being able to find a permanent home or a permanent room over my or a roof over my head, they now have the understanding and the communication to be able to go out and confidently approach the various agencies that can provide that support, and also the comprehension of understanding about what they're asking for and what they're going to deliver to them as a message. The other part of the Outcome Star program, it gives us a tool to measure those soft and hard outcomes. So in those conversations with the student, we're doing star readings on a regular basis. Those star readings give us data, and a lot of education today is very much data-driven. Managing what you know is important. And so we can then do snapshots of that data, either individually with the student or as a whole school approach. And it can give us a picture of the progress our students are making on that journey of change in relation to managing their mental health and those aspects of their life. As a person who's worked with the Outcome Star now for 6 years, I highly recommend this program because it is very much strength-based. It is very much about working with the students' abilities rather than their disabilities, and it's a very positive approach. It doesn't have to be a school that is a special assistance school. It can be any school that's in the ACS membership. You might have a small group of students in your 1,000-student cohort that are really struggling with managing their own well-being. And so it could be just something you run as a small program in your school to support them. It doesn't have to be a whole school program. It certainly complements what you're doing with well-being support and development.